Well, the countdown is on and we are getting unbelievably close. Next week's video hopefully will be of us crossing the United States border from Canada into the United States and starting our journey heading south for the winter. We are going to be spending, if all goes well, we will be spending 4.5 months in the United States. We're going to be touring down through Washington, Oregon, and then hitting the California coast, chasing sunshine and warm weather and nice weather, and then we'll be doing some touring around southern Arizona as well. I have a girlfriend in Yuma and an auntie in Blythe and friends in Palm Springs, and so we'll just be kind of touring around and seeing everybody. I booked our reservations for Christmas in Santa Barbara at a really, really lovely campsite along the ocean, so that's pretty exciting. One of the things we've never crossed the border with our dogs, and we've never done Snowbirds before, and so this is all pretty new. And I belong to a lot of Facebook groups of, Canadian Snowbirds and people who travel to the States all the time, and RV groups and all that. And, I was kind of looking for the information for crossing the border with dogs and also just for being a snowbird. And, there was a bunch of misinformation out there, and I kept checking different things, and I was getting conflicting information, and then finally I was like, this is ridiculous. So I looked it up, and I just need to check my notes so I say it properly. I looked it up and I went to the website for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And if you want to know what you can bring across and what you cannot bring across, that is the website to go to. It is by the U.S. government. It is their rules and regulations clearly explained. And so I went through it, and one of the things on there is you may not bring anything that has lamb or goat in it. And of course, what did I do? I just bought a 50-pound bag of grassland Akana dog food, which has lamb in it. So the dogs will be eating that until the morning that we go to cross, and unfortunately it'll be turfed in the trash, and we'll be crossing with a brand new unopened bag of dog food that is just beef. Chicken right now, when I went to the other website that the border website suggests, going to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Right now, as I understand, there's a chicken restriction as well, so absolutely no raw chicken products. It doesn't matter even if it's in dog food. If it's raw, you can't bring it across. Eggs, you can't bring it across. You can cook them and bring them across of a personal use amount, but you're not to have it raw or frozen. And so that was another thing I need to look out for and make sure. Another thing is citrus. You absolutely cannot have citrus, and which is fine. You think citrus, well, of course, oranges and limes, but one of the things also said, like, things that contain citrus, like spices and that. So I need to kind of go through that kind of stuff and look as well. Another thing that I've sent back to our storage is I had a can of bear spray. And although it does say you can bring across bear spray if it is labeled as bear spray, but I read a horrific story of a family crossing, and they had a can of bear spray and they forgot to say that they had a can of bear spray, and then the border patrol listed it as a weapon and they had to pay a $500 fine, and now they're on a red flag list for 7 years. And yeah, I don't want to go down that path. And so anyone who knows me I am so paranoid about crossing the border. And I mean, I have no criminal record. I have no reason to be concerned about crossing the border. Every time we're crossing the border, whether by land or by air, I get nervous. And Curtis laughs at me every time because his thing is, Deb, just be honest and answer the questions. Whatever they ask, answer it honestly. Don't tell them more than what they ask, but answer. And I know that. And there's no reason why we would be denied entry. But we have so much pending on this and so much hopes and dreams on doing this, and we've wanted it so bad for so long. And so there's a part of me that I'm just so worried that we're going to get there and something's going to go wrong and we'll be denied, which is, I guess, probably kind of silly because there's no reason to be denied. We are bringing all of our documentation. So we took our dogs to the vet. One of the things that they absolutely require is that your dog is up to date with rabies vaccinations. You need a rabies certificate from your vet, and that rabies vaccination cannot expire while you're down in the States. That's one of the red flags that they have. Both the dogs are also microchipped, so I'll have that paperwork printed out as well, showing that they are microchipped and registered. And so the dogs are completely vaccinated, up to date, and they're fine until we get back. The other thing is that for us, they are asking if you are vaccinated with COVID vaccinations, and we've had our 2 shots, and that's what they're looking for. And there's a list of approved vaccinations, and so it has to be one of the approved vaccinations. So you have to be vaccinated properly, and it has to have been done, I believe it's 15 days before you cross. So you have to say that you're fully vaccinated. And generally they just ask, but they can ask for proof. So we have our QR codes to say that we were vaccinated. So we're happy about that. Well, maybe not happy about that, but we're prepared for that. We have our passports in hand. We have our travel insurance, which says that when we're crossing and when we're coming back for April 15th. We have a bank statement posted showing that we do have the financial means to be in the States and that we're not going to steal American jobs while we're there. We have ties to home, so we have ties to family, showing that we have grandkids and our children, and my mom and dad, and Curtis's family, his mom and his sisters. Like we have family to come back to, and that's always kind of the worrisome thing, because they want to make sure that you are not going to stay down in the States. And so I think we'll be fine, and Curtis has his employer's phone number and address, and that he has work when we get back, and all of those things. And I'm probably just being ultra paranoid, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, because I don't want to be turned around at the border and be told no. So we're already in that area. So we had some work done on the truck to make sure that it's all safe and ready to go.
So I did a service on Debbie's truck last night, and this truck uses the AMSOIL bypass filter system. So I'll sneak a peek in here. So it has 2 filters. So you have the main filter over there, and then you have an additional filter right up over there. So part of the bypass oil system here that AMSOIL sells is this piece here. Now what that does is it brings oil back up through the top of the engine, through the filler. And during cold weather, especially cold weather starts, you get oil up to the top of the engine quickly. Unlike conventional, that basically takes time for that oil to get pumped up to the top. Where it helps a lot for the cold weather wear. That system itself adds an extra filter, as I showed you down below, adds some extra oil to it. It's about 15 liters of oil. We use this AMSOIL. It's a 540. It's a max duty protection, as it says here, 6 times more wear protection. Now, it's a good product. A lot of people use it. I've used it in the past. It's what this truck came with, so we're keeping on with that. Another thing too is this Arch Oil friction modifier. That is a product too, again, that helps to deal with friction. Protects the engine during cold starts again. It's one of those ones that just helps these diesels run a lot longer. It is a cost side of it, but compared to any repairs, even if it does get you some extra mileage, it's worth it in the long run. And you can go a long time between oil changes with this system too. So a lot of guys just stay on the regular scheduled maintenance, but you can actually shorten it up a lot here and extend it out, I guess is the best way to say it. And you can save some money on that side of it. So here's the air filter. I'm going to go grab a new one. But the weird part is this box, there's bees all in there. So for whatever reason, the whole filter is full of bees, and the filter box here is full of bees. Very odd. You can see the difference here between the two there. So the old one wasn't terrible, but it sure wasn't good. So all the new filters in. They're kind of a pain to get back in place, but really you just kind of have to make sure the filter's down all the way and then get these tabs in, and then you really can't go wrong. It won't go in if it's wrong. It does lock in fairly well. But and the clips on this one are pretty easy to get on once you have it positioned properly. big items on our checklist was to get the new tires. Truck came when we bought it with Goodyears, and Debbie and I both prefer the Beef Goodrich All-Terrain, the KO2 tires. They're not terrific in mud, they're not terrific in snow, but they're actually good in both. And you can actually use them as a 4-season tire. Now, they don't wear, you don't get a lot of wear out of them though. With these 35 by 12 and a halves, even rotating them, you're hard pressed to get 45,000 kilometers, more like 40. So if you drive a lot like we do, you're replacing them once a year. Now that is not a fun thing. All in with taxes, mounting and balancing for these ones, best price we could get was $2,690. So they're not cheap, but we got new skins anyways, and the way the weather is looking right now, as you can see, there's snow. We got the skins on, it's serviced. One thing we did too was we picked up a canopy. Now it is still white. We had a tough time finding a canopy. We were going to go with a rolling tongue cover, but we have things that are too tall for it, so we decided to go with the canopy. We will get this canopy painted almost like a matte black, and we'll get like a cheap kind of roof rack for it, something that looks a little tough that will go along with the bars on the side. So that'll get changed here as soon as we can. It's just put on there, it's not even considered properly yet. We were going to look at getting it wrapped, but the guys that do the wrap, they don't recommend it at all. They figure the best thing we do is to paint it. So that's what we'll do. So again, just working on that checklist, so getting ready to go.
We have the trailer all ready to go. It's been gone through. We're going through everything, cleaning out what we don't need to take with us that we're not going to need when we're down south, and that'll all go into the self-storage. And yeah, it's an exciting week of getting everything ready, and our next video next week should be, fingers crossed, of us on the other side of the border and heading down to Bellingham, which is where we're spending our first night, and then we'll stay next night somewhere around Portland, and then just work our way down until the weather gets nice. And as soon as the weather is nice, we'll be slowing down and doing lots of photography and hiking and exploring beaches. If you've been with us from the beginning, or you've just joined us recently, this last month has been really challenging. We've been really busy. Curtis has been working hair straight back. We are not in a particularly great campground. It's just totally utilitarian. We're here for work and doesn't have a lot to offer. And unfortunately, I brought back the flu from Saskatchewan, so I've been laid out until now, and that didn't help with content. And Curtis has been working like a dog, and that hasn't helped with content. And so we haven't been doing a whole lot. And so thanks for sticking it out with us. Since July, we kind of looked at it that these months were practice and preparing for when we go south, and that's when we would really launch our channel and have really good quality content and kind of work out the bugs on what we're doing and hit the ground running in the United States. And so we're pretty excited to bring you along with us, and yeah, get ready, because there's going to be a whole lot of stuff to see, and we're so thankful that you're with us and that you've joined us. And yeah, we'll see you next week, hopefully from the United States.